welcome. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about one of my favorite poets. He was, because he's no longer with us, he lived very long ago. He was the famous Sufi mystic and poet Rumi. Right, so his first name is Jalaluddin, I think. I'm so scared to say that name because I fear that I'm not pronouncing it correctly. But anyway, so Rumi was born in Afghanistan on September 30, 1207. And I would say that most of his poems center around the topic of love. They can be called love poems. He wrote about life and love and soulmates and twin flames. And if you've seen my other videos, you would know that I'm interested in all of those things. So I have here with me Rumi, the Book of Love, which was translated by Coleman Barks. Alright, so I bought this book in the year 2013, which is also quite a while ago. But this book to me is just so amazing. I mean, if you're feeling like you're a bit down or you need some inspiration, you can just open this book anywhere and you'll definitely find some form of inspiration. I also like the way the pages have been cut. It's got that rough look to the edges, if you can see. So I've actually made notes of which poems really stood out for me, and I may be reading some of them now for you guys. But before I start, I just want to say that to me, why I love the whole concept of soulmates and twin flames. I mean, we've already established that in order to attract your twin flame and your soulmate and everyone who belongs in your soul family, you have to actually at first love yourself. And in this book, Rumi not only speaks about self-love, but also about how beautiful the concept is of loving someone else. So I'll just read here at the beginning of the book. It speaks about Rumi's relationship with Shams, who was about 20 to 30 years older than Rumi himself. And their friendship was seen as a great mystery because to this day, some people argue that Rumi had maybe a homosexual side to his personality, and maybe he was more than friends with Shams. Because if you look into it, you'll see that a lot of his poetry actually is written as a tribute to this Shams person. So it could be that he actually felt more than friendship towards him, which is wonderful. But then later on in his life, after Shams mysteriously disappears and they suspect that he was murdered, Rumi actually gets married, not once but twice, to females, and he has children with them. So I don't know, think what you want. It's beautiful either way, because love is love. I mean, love has no age, love has no gender, love has no race, all those things. Okay, love is just beautiful in any form. So as I said, a lot of his poetry is aimed at Shams as a form of tribute. Right, so I love this poem specifically on page 7. It says, "In your light I learn how to love, in your beauty how to make poems. You dance inside my chest where no one sees you, but sometimes I do, and that sight becomes this art." Isn't that stunning? Isn't that really gorgeous? And then on the next page, "Are you jealous of the ocean's generosity? Why would you refuse to give this love to anyone? Fish don't hold the sacred liquid in cups. They swim the huge fluid freedom." Lovely. Okay, then there is another one. On page 51 it says, "My work is to carry this love as comfort for those who long for you, to go everywhere you've walked and gaze at the pressed down dirt." That was definitely written for Shams. Definitely, because as I said, he mysteriously disappeared, and Rumi then obviously looked for him in places where they'd been before, where they visited before. "I've broken through to longing now, filled with the grief I've felt before, but never like this." see, he clearly tells that he was overcome by grief. He was just overwhelmed with sorrow, looking for this person who he thought was actually his soulmate. I mean, in this book, also in the introduction itself, they speak about Rumi and Shams having this soul connection. So when this person was taken from Rumi's life, he was devastated. Okay, then basically, I did say that most of his poems are love poems, but it's not just the spiritual side of love, it's also how the physical aspect connects to the spiritual aspect. So Rumi also speaks about sex and intimacy and how that creates a spiritual bond. It's present in most of his poems, but all I can say is that this book is really lovely. I mean, Rumi published a lot. Rumi's poems were published. A lot of his poems were published after he died. I don't think he ever really knew that he would be this successful during his lifetime, but this book specifically is really one of my favorites because, you can really see how much he loved this friend or soulmate of his. And I mean, it says here on the cover, poems of ecstasy and longing, and it's really what love is all about, isn't it? Just being on that high, being on that roller coaster ride of ecstasy, and then crashing down and missing somebody and longing for them. But if you can get your hands on this book, Rumi, The Book of Love, translated by Coleman Barks, please do yourself a favor, try and read it. One of my favorites. Thanks for watching, everyone. Love and light to you all, and stay safe.